Not every slot machine in Las Vegas deserves your time or your money. Some of them are built with low return percentages, confusing bet structures, and psychological tricks designed to keep you spending more than you planned. Today, we are going through 26 slot machines that American casino players should avoid in 2026. Some of these you are going to recognize. Some of them you probably play every single trip. By the end of this list, you will understand exactly why the casino loves them just as much as you do. Number 26. IGT Megabucks, the dream that quietly destroys your bankroll. Let me start with one of the most famous slot machines in the entire history of Las Vegas. You have walked past it. You have probably thought about it. The name alone gets your heart beating a little faster. Megabucks. That big, bright machine with the ever-climbing jackpot number ticking up on the screen above your head. Tens of millions of dollars, sometimes 30 million, 40 million. The machine that turned a software engineer into a multimillionaire back in 2003. You remember hearing about that, right? Well, I need you to sit down and hear the other side of that story because Megabucks is number 26 on our list and it deserves a very honest conversation. Here is what the casinos do not put on a sign next to that machine. Megabucks carries one of the highest house edges you will find on any slot machine in Las Vegas. We are talking somewhere around 11%. Now, let that sink in for a moment. The average slot machine on the Las Vegas Strip holds somewhere between 7 and 9% of every dollar you put into it. Megabucks holds 11. That means for every $100 you feed into that machine, the casino is mathematically designed to keep 11 of them. Not 5, not 7. 11. Why is it so high? Because every single spin you take, a portion of your bet is not even competing for a regular payout. It is being funneled directly into that giant progressive jackpot pool. You are essentially buying lottery tickets with every spin, except the odds of hitting that grand jackpot are astronomical. We are talking odds so long that the average player would need to spin for multiple lifetimes before hitting it. The jackpot is real. People do win it. But the people who win it are statistical outliers, and the millions of players who fed that machine before them paid dearly for the privilege. Now, here is something else worth knowing. Megabucks machines are linked across Nevada. That means the jackpot grows because slot floors all over the state are contributing to it. But it also means the machine sitting in front of you at Caesar's Palace or the MGM Grand or Excalibur has had thousands upon thousands of people playing it before you walked up. Each of them lost more, on average, than they would have lost on nearly any other machine in that casino. The experience itself is not particularly exciting either. Megabucks machines are not known for engaging bonus rounds, entertaining animations, or satisfying small wins along the way. The gameplay is fairly basic. You spin, you lose, you spin again, you lose. The machine gives you just enough small action to keep you in the seat. But the frequency of meaningful payouts is genuinely low because so much of the return is tied up in that jackpot that almost nobody wins. Think about the people you know who play Megabucks regularly. Have any of them ever told you they walked away from that machine feeling like they had a good session? A fun afternoon? More often than not, people who play Megabucks sit down with more money than they intended to spend, feed the machine steadily for an hour or two, and walk away, wondering where the time and the money went. The machine is designed that way. The size of the jackpot is a psychological hook. It makes the losing feel almost meaningful, as if you are making progress towards something, when in reality, you are just contributing to a pool that someone else, somewhere else in Nevada, might win years from now. The recommendation here is simple. If you want to dream about a life-changing jackpot, buy a Powerball ticket on your way into the casino. It will cost you $2, and your odds of a massive life-changing winner arguably not much worse. Save your slot budget for machines that actually give you a fighting chance of having a good session, hitting some bonus rounds, and walking out with money still in your pocket. Megabucks is for the casino. It has always been for the casino. And in 2026, with everything we know about how these machines are structured, there is simply no good reason for you to be sitting in front of one. Number 25. Penny slots on the Las Vegas Strip. The most expensive cheap bet in town. You see them everywhere. Rows and rows of bright, colorful machines with screens the size of a small television and buttons that glow in every color of the rainbow. the signs say penny slots, 1 cent per line. And your brain does the math and says, well, how much can I really lose on a penny machine? You can play for hours on just 20 bucks, right? Wrong. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible. Because this is probably the single biggest misconception that costs American casino visitors hundreds of millions of dollars every single year. Penny slots are not cheap to play. They are not a way to stretch your entertainment budget. They are one of the most cleverly disguised money traps in the entire casino. And the penny slots found on the Las Vegas Strip are, according to years of Nevada Gaming Control Board data, the worst performing machines you can sit down at anywhere in the state. Here is how the math actually works, because once you understand it, you will never look at a penny slot machine the same way again. Yes, the denomination is 1 cent, but these machines do not let you bet 1 penny per spin. They have anywhere from 20 to 50 or even 100 pay lines, and they are engineered so that to activate all the bonus features and have a real chance at the bigger payouts, you need to bet the maximum or close to it. That often means spinning for 60 cents, $1, $1.50, sometimes $3 or more per spin. You are not playing a penny slot. You are playing a multi-dollar slot that has the word penny written on the side. And here is the part that truly matters. The Nevada Gaming Control Board tracks the whole percentage of slot machines by denomination. Penny slots statewide had a casino win rate of over 9% in recent years. That is the worst of any denomination tracked. For context, $5 machines have a win rate closer to 5 or 6%. You are losing nearly twice as much of your money proportionally on those colorful penny machines as you would be on a $5 slot. The math is simply brutal. On the Las Vegas Strip specifically, the situation is even worse. Strip casinos are tourist destinations. They know that the vast majority of people walking through their doors are visiting once or twice a year at most. These casinos do not need to compete for your long-term loyalty the way a local casino does. So they set their machines tighter. The Strip consistently reports some of the tightest slot hold percentages in all of Nevada, year after year. Penny slots on the Strip are the absolute worst performers in a category that already performs poorly. You are stacking 2 of the worst factors in slot machine gambling on top of each other. Now let us talk about the experience itself, because even if you are willing to accept some losses in exchange for entertainment, penny slots on the Strip often do not even deliver the fun they promise. The bonus rounds are flashy but frequently shallow. The music is loud and repetitive. The near-miss animations are carefully crafted to make you feel like you almost won when you did not. That is not an accident. Yeah, modern slot machine designers have spent enormous resources studying player psychology. Those near-miss moments keep you in the seat. They keep you spinning. They make you feel like a win is just around the corner. And the credit system on these machines is worth mentioning too. When you put $20 into a penny slot machine, the screen shows you 2,000 credits. 2,000. That sounds like a lot, but each spin might cost you 60 or 80 or 100 credits. 200 credits are gone in just a couple of minutes, and you barely even register it because you are watching the reels spin and the animations play. The credit system is not an accident either. It is designed to psychologically distance you from the reality that you are spending real money. And if you enjoy the fun and spectacle of slot machines on the Las Vegas Strip, that is completely understandable. But if you are going to play, at least give yourself a chance. Move up in denomination. A quarter machine, a 50-cent machine, or even a dollar machine will pay back a higher percentage of your money over time. You will have fewer spins for the same budget, but the quality of those spins will be better and your overall loss rate will be lower. Do not let the word penny fool you. It is the most expensive word on the casino floor. Number 24, licensed and branded slot machines. When you pay extra for a famous name. There's a particular kind of slot machine that has taken over casino floors over the last decade or so, and it is one that I want you to think very carefully about before you sit down. These are the branded machines, the ones built around famous television shows, movies, musicians, and pop culture icons. You have seen them. Wheel of Fortune spin-offs that bear celebrity names. Machines built around game shows. Slots featuring classic rock bands, famous cartoons, beloved movies. They are everywhere in Las Vegas in 2026. And they are, almost without exception, a worse deal for you than a comparable machine without the famous branding. The reason is straightforward, and it comes down to simple business reality. When a slot machine manufacturer wants to put a famous name or image on their machine, they have to pay for it. They pay licensing fees to the studio, the network, the band, the estate, whoever owns the rights to that intellectual property. Those licensing fees can be substantial. We are talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes millions, spread across the life of the machines. And here's the thing about those fees. They do not come out of the casino's pocket in any meaningful way that hurts them. They come out of the player's pocket through a lower return to player percentage built directly into the machine. A standard unbranded slot machine of comparable quality might be set to return 92 or 93 cents out of every dollar wagered. A branded machine covering the same type of gameplay might be set to return 89 or 90 cents. That 2 or 3 percentage point difference sounds small. But if you sit at that machine for a couple of hours and run through $200 or $300 in action, that gap is real money. Over the course of a weekend in Las Vegas, the difference between playing branded and unbranded slots can amount to $30, $40, $50 or more in additional losses that you would not have suffered otherwise. And what do you actually get for that lower return? You get the familiar logo on the screen, you get clips of music or television footage during bonus rounds, you get the warm, fuzzy feeling of seeing something familiar in an unfamiliar environment. That is the transaction. The casino is banking on the fact that you will trade a percentage of your money for the comfort of familiarity. And millions of players make exactly that trade every single day without ever realizing the deal they are getting. Walk through the floor of any major strip casino and pay attention to which machines are busiest. Often, you will find people clustered around the branded games while comparable, unbranded machines sit empty nearby. The branding works, it draws people in. A machine with a famous game show logo on it feels safer, more legitimate, more fun than a machine with a generic theme you have never heard of. But feel and reality are two very different things on a casino floor. Some specific types of branded machines deserve special mention here. Television game show machines are among the most aggressively licensed and among the worst performers for players. Anything built around a decades-long game show franchise that also has a live television version running right now is paying ongoing licensing fees that have to be recovered somewhere. Movie-based machines similarly often carry lower RTPs, especially when the film is a recent blockbuster with high licensing value. Classic rock band machines, which became very popular in Las Vegas over the last decade, are the same story. The advice here is not that you should never enjoy a fun bonus round or a familiar theme. Entertainment has value, and if you genuinely love a particular machine because it is built around something you love, enjoy it. But go in with your eyes open. Understand that you are paying a premium for that branding. Limit your time on those machines and then move to something with a better underlying structure. Your bankroll will thank you, and you might be surprised to discover that the unbranded machine 2 seats down is actually just as fun to play once you give it a chance. Number 23, wide area progressive jackpot machines. The network that works against you. Here's a concept I want you to really lock in before you sit down at your next session on the casino floor. There are 2 kinds of progressive jackpot machines. There are the standalone progressives, where the jackpot is fed only by the action on that one machine or a small bank of machines in a single casino. And then there are wide area progressives, where the jackpot is pooled across dozens or even hundreds of machines spread across multiple casinos, sometimes across the entire state of Nevada. These are the machines with the eye-popping jackpot numbers, 7 figures, 8 figures. The numbers that stop you in your tracks when you walk past. Wide area progressive machines are among the worst deals on any casino floor in America. Full stop. And I want to explain exactly why, so you have a complete picture of what you are walking into if you decide to sit down at one. When you place a bet on a wide area progressive machine, a meaningful slice of that bet does not go into the game's regular pay cycle at all. It goes directly into the jackpot pool. That money is essentially removed from the portion of your wager that can come back to you through regular spins, small wins, bonus rounds, and medium-sized payouts. The machine looks and feels like it is paying you when you hit a bonus or get a decent line win, but The baseline return on the game itself, excluding the jackpot, is often quite low. The jackpot inflates the stated RTP on paper while gutting the practical return you experience during normal play. Think about it this way. You sit down at a wide area progressive with a stated RTP of around 92%. That sounds reasonable, but a significant portion of that 92% is the jackpot contribution, which you have an astronomically small chance of ever collecting. Your practical return during a normal session without hitting the jackpot might be significantly lower. You are paying a regular cost to buy a lottery ticket that is embedded in every spin, except nobody ever tells you that is what you are buying. The machines themselves are also designed with this in mind, because so much of the return is tied up in the jackpot. The regular payouts on these machines tend to be less frequent and smaller than on comparable non-progressive games. The bonus rounds, when you do hit them, often feel less satisfying because the prize pool for regular wins has been shrunk to fund the jackpot. You can sit at a wide area progressive machine for an hour, trigger multiple bonus rounds, and still feel like you never really had a moment of genuine excitement because the wins are small and the big prize feels perpetually out of reach. There is also a psychological dimension to these machines worth discussing. The rising jackpot counter is one of the most effective, attention-grabbing tools in casino design. It creates a sense of urgency. It makes you feel like if you just stay a little longer, spin a little more, the jackpot could hit at any moment. In theory, yes, the jackpot will hit eventually, but the odds are so long that this sense of imminent possibility is almost entirely manufactured by the visual display. You are not actually close to winning. You never were. The jackpot counter is not a progress bar. It is a lure. There is also the question of what happens after a wide area jackpot hits. Many of these jackpots reset to a seed amount that can be several $1 million lower than where they just were. Other players who were feeding the machine before the jackpot hit collectively funded a win for someone else, and now the machine resets and the whole cycle starts again. Every dollar you put into one of these machines before a jackpot hit is just fertilizer for someone else's harvest. If you enjoy the fantasy of a giant jackpot, play the lottery. If you want to actually enjoy a slot machine session, find a non-progressive game with a solid base RTP, decent bonus frequency, and a payout structure that gives you something back during normal play. The dream of the wide area progressive is seductive. The reality of playing one session after session, dollar after dollar, is one of the most expensive habits a casino visitor can develop. Number 22, multi-line penny. Video slots with maximum payline betting, the confusion machine. This one is a little different from the others because I am not talking about a single specific machine name. I am talking about an entire category of machine design that has come to dominate casino floors over the last 15 years, and it is a category built almost entirely around making it as difficult as possible for you to understand what is actually happening with your money. Let me describe what I mean. You sit down at a video slot machine. It has 5 reels, bright graphics, a fun theme. The screen tells you it is a penny machine. There is a pay lines button, and the default setting often has the machine running all available lines, which might be 20, 30, 40, 50, sometimes 100 pay lines. You see a bet per line number and a total bet number. And those numbers are often displayed in a way that makes it genuinely confusing to understand how much you are actually wagering per spin. Many players sit down at these machines and truly do not know their actual spin cost. They see the denomination, they see a small credit number, and they start spinning. It is only later, when they look at how fast their credits are disappearing, that they realize each spin was costing them significantly more than they thought. This is not accidental. The confusing multi-denomination, multi-pay line display on these machines has been studied, refined, and optimized over many years specifically to obscure the true cost of play. Here's another feature of these machines that works against you in a subtle but powerful way. The multiple pay lines create an enormous number of near-miss scenarios. When you have 40 or 50 pay lines active on every spin, something on the screen is almost always lining up partially. You get 2 matching symbols on one line here, a partial bonus symbol on another line there. The screen lights up and shows you activity. You hear sounds, you see animations. You might even technically win a small amount on one line while losing considerably more across all the other lines combined. This is called a net loss, disguised as a win, and it is one of the most damaging features in modern slot machine design. Imagine you bet 90 cents and the machine shows you a celebration, plays cheerful music, and tells you that you won 30 cents. You just lost 60 cents. But the machine presented it as a win. Your brain processes the visual and audio celebration and records a positive experience. This happens dozens of times per session, and every time it does, your perception of how you are doing is being skewed. Players who experience many of these small so-called wins during a session often report feeling like they were winning when they actually lost significant money overall. It is a form of manufactured optimism embedded into the machine's design. The high spin rate on these machines compounds the problem. Because the reels resolve quickly and the betting is automatic, it is easy to go through hundreds of spins in an hour without realizing just how many times you have bet. Multiply that by the actual cost per spin, which is often much higher than the posted denomination, and you're looking at a rate of money consumption that would genuinely shock most players if they saw it laid out on paper. These machines are also placed strategically. In most major strip casinos, the multi-line penny and nickel video slots take up a huge percentage of the floor space. They are loud, bright, and visually overwhelming. Sit down and start spinning. The sit down and start spinning. The combination of confusion, near misses, false wins, and rapid play will do most of the work of keeping you there and keeping you spending. My advice for this category is this. Before you sit down at any multi-line video slot machine, take 30 seconds to figure out what you are actually paying per spin. Look at the total bet amount, not just the denomination. If the machine makes it hard to find that number, that is not a coincidence. If the total bet per spin is more than you are comfortable losing, find a different machine. Protecting your bankroll starts with knowing exactly what each spin is costing you, and these machines are specifically designed to make that as difficult as possible. Number 21, Buffalo Gold, the machine that made aristocrat billions and players poorer. If you have spent any time in a Las Vegas casino in the last decade, you have heard it. That distinctive buffalo call, the thundering hooves, the spinning gold coin symbols that every player around you seems to be chasing with a look in their eyes that goes somewhere between hopeful and desperate. Buffalo Gold by Aristocrat is one of the most popular slot machines in the history of American casino gambling, and that popularity is precisely why it belongs on this list. Let me be very clear about something before we go further. Buffalo Gold is not popular because it is generous. It is not popular because it pays well. Hans, it is popular because Aristocrat's game design team did something genuinely brilliant from an engineering standpoint and genuinely harmful from a player standpoint. They built a machine that triggers emotional responses in players with almost surgical precision. And those emotional responses keep people sitting down and feeding money into it long after any reasonable assessment of the session would say it is time to walk away. The core of Buffalo Gold's appeal is the gold coin collection feature. As you spin, gold coins land on buffalo symbols throughout the reels. When you collect 15 coins, all the buffalo symbols on the screen transform into full stacks, covering entire reels, and the free spins round becomes dramatically more powerful. The problem is getting to 15 coins. It can take many free spin rounds before you collect enough. Each time you trigger the base free spins without having enough coins, you get a modest win and the coins reset. You start over. And that near completion feeling, that sense of almost being there, is one of the most psychologically compelling experiences in modern slot design. Slot machine researchers have written about Buffalo Gold, specifically as a case study in what they call variable ratio reinforcement. The same psychological principle that makes slot machines in general so compelling, but concentrated in this particular game into a feedback loop that is especially hard to escape. You are not just chasing a symbol combination, you are chasing a coin total that resets. The variability of that reset is extraordinarily powerful. Sometimes you collect coins quickly. No, sometimes it takes forever. That unpredictability is the engine of the addiction. Now let us talk about the actual numbers. Buffalo Gold is a penny denomination machine in most casino configurations, which, as we already discussed, means your actual cost per spin is nowhere near 1 cent. With all lines in the bonus bet activated, players routinely spend between $2 and $4 per spin on this machine. That is not pocket change. And the RTP on Buffalo Gold varies by configuration, but tends to sit in the lower range for video slots, often in the 88 to 92% range, depending on the casino's setting. Strip casinos, which configure their machines tighter than locals casinos, likely sit toward the bottom of that range. There's also the time factor. Buffalo Gold is a notoriously slow machine in terms of how it delivers payouts. You can go through long, dry stretches where nothing meaningful happens. The coin collection feels agonizingly close and then resets. And the base game, without the coins loaded up, does not pay particularly well. So you are essentially paying $4 a spin for the privilege of sometimes entering a bonus round that sometimes, on a good collection, pays back a significant multiple of your bet. But the path to that outcome is lined with hundreds of lost spins that most players barely notice because the buffalo sounds and the coin accumulation keep them engaged and distracted. If you are a player who has found yourself sitting at Buffalo Gold longer than you planned, spending more than you intended, and feeling that almost there pull every time the free spins do not quite deliver the coin collection, please recognize that feeling for what it is. It is a feature of the machine, not a sign that a big win is coming. Walk away. There are better machines. There are machines that pay more frequently, carry a higher RTP, and do not rely on a psychological reset loop to keep you in your seat. Buffalo Gold is a triumph of casino game design. It is not a triumph of player value. Those are very different things. Number 20, Wheel of Fortune. Triple extreme spin, when an icon becomes a trap. There are few things in American culture more comforting and familiar than Wheel of Fortune. Decades on television, the click of the wheel, the solving of the puzzle. It is practically a national institution. And IGT, the slot machine manufacturer, understood that when they licensed the name and built what became one of the most recognizable slot machine brands in Las Vegas history. The Wheel of Fortune slot machines have been on casino floors since the 1990s. They are part of the landscape. And that familiarity is exactly what makes them dangerous for your bankroll in 2026. The specific version I want to focus on here is the triple extreme spin configuration, which has become one of the more common Wheel of Fortune variants on strip casino floors in recent years. This machine carries all of the problems we discussed with branded slots generally, but layers on top of them a progressive jackpot structure that adds another dimension of player disadvantage. You are paying for the brand name, and you are also contributing to a jackpot pool that the vast majority of players will never see a penny of. Two negative factors stacked on each other. The Wheel of Fortune. Triple extreme spin typically offers 3 separate jackpot tiers, each of which requires a bonus bet or a maximum wager to be fully eligible for. This is another design element worth understanding clearly. If you are not betting the maximum or activating the bonus bet, or you're sitting at this machine without access to the feature that makes it supposedly exciting. But the bonus bet or the maximum wager requirement pushes your cost per spin significantly higher. Many players activate these requirements without fully understanding that they are doing so because the machine's interface encourages it, and the default settings often favor maximum play. The wheel spin bonus, when it triggers, is genuinely exciting. There is no denying that. The wheel lights up, it spins, the crowd sounds play, and for a moment, you are transported right back to your living room watching the television show. That experience is worth something to a lot of players. But let us be honest about what it is worth. Is it worth the lower RTP that comes with the licensing fees? Is it worth the additional cost of the bonus bet? Is it worth the infrequent triggering rate that means you might spin for an hour without ever getting to see the wheel? IGT configures their Wheel of Fortune machines with a jackpot reset value that can vary, but the contribution rate to that jackpot is meaningful. A real portion of every wager goes into the jackpot pool, which reduces what is available for regular play returns. The stated overall RTP on these machines can look acceptable on paper because the jackpot contribution inflates the number. The practical return during a normal session without hitting any jackpot is noticeably lower. There is also a speed and engagement problem with this machine that not enough people talk about. Because the big excitement is centered on the wheel bonus, the base game spins can feel like filler. You are essentially waiting for the bonus. Every spin that is not a bonus trigger feels like a step toward one. And the near misses on the bonus trigger are crafted to maintain that sense of anticipation. You are not really playing the base game for enjoyment. You are enduring the base game in hopes of the bonus. That is a fundamentally unsatisfying structure that often leads players to stay longer than they should because leaving before the bonus hits feels like wasted investment. The Wheel of Fortune. Name deserves to be celebrated for what it is on television. On a casino floor in Las Vegas in 2026, the machines bearing that name are selling you a feeling and charging you extra for it in ways that your bankroll will register even if your enjoyment sensors do not. There's a better game around the corner. Find it. Number 19. Quick Hit Platinum. Fast spins, fast losses, and a false sense of action. Bally Technologies, now a part of the larger Scientific Games family, has produced a lot of successful slot machines over the years. And Quick Hit is arguably their signature series. You have seen the machine. It has that distinctive red and gold color scheme, the quick hit symbol that every player is hunting, and a reputation for fast-paced, spinning action that appeals to players who like a high-energy experience. It is everywhere in Las Vegas. Every major strip property has a bank of them, and in 2026, it belongs on a list of machines you should be approaching with serious caution. Quick Hit Platinum and its many variants and successors in the Quick Hit family is built around a design philosophy of speed. These machines are engineered for rapid play. The reels spin and resolve quickly. The animations are brief. The bonus rounds, when they hit, are relatively short. All of this means you go through a lot of spins in a short period of time. And the faster you spin, the faster you expose your bankroll to the house edge or whatever that edge happens to be on the specific configuration in front of you. Here's a piece of math that I want you to think about carefully. If a machine has a house edge of 8% and you make 400 spins per hour, you are losing roughly 8% of your total wagered amount per hour. Now, if each spin costs you $1, that is $32 per hour in expected losses. But if a fast machine pushes your spin rate to 600 per hour and each spin costs you $1.50 because of the multi-line structure, you are now looking at $72 per hour in expected losses. The combination of speed and hidden cost per spin on quick hit variants can make them among the most expensive machines per hour of play on the entire casino floor, even if their stated RTP looks competitive. Quick hit machines also have a specific feature worth addressing. The quick hit symbol, which is the primary bonus trigger, appears on all 5 reels, and landing specific combinations of it triggers various bonus pays. But the frequency of hitting a meaningful quick hit combination is engineered to create long, dry spells punctuated by moderate wins. The player experience oscillates between periods of sustained losing and occasional jolts of activity. This pattern, psychologically, is quite similar to the variable ratio reinforcement we discussed with Buffalo Gold. The jolts of activity feel disproportionately significant compared to the steady background of losses. The Platinum version specifically tends to be configured with bonus bets and jackpot contributions that, as we have established, work against the player by reducing the return on regular play. Strip casino configurations of Quick Hit Platinum are not known for generosity. The machine is configured to hold a meaningful percentage, and the speed of play means that percentage accumulates quickly into real dollar losses. There is also something worth noting about who Quick Hit tends to attract. The fast-paced and action-oriented design appeals to a certain type of player who enjoys the intensity of rapid spinning. If that is you, please be aware that the speed of the machine is not a feature offered for your benefit. Speed benefits the casino. More spins per hour means more theoretical hold per hour. The exciting fast-paced feel of Quick Hit Platinum is a design choice that increases the rate at which money flows from your wallet to the casino's revenue. The entertainment value of that speed is real, but so is the cost. Budget accordingly and set strict time limits. This is a machine that can eat through a session budget faster than almost any other on the floor. Number 18, Dragon Link and Dragon Cash. The high denomination trap dressed in gold. There is a machine that has absolutely taken over the premium and high-limit sections of Las Vegas casinos in the last several years. And if you have wandered into those areas, you have almost certainly seen it. Dragon Link and its close cousin Dragon Cash, both produced by Aristocrat, are among the most visually striking machines currently on any casino floor. They are large, they are beautiful. The dragon imagery is rendered in rich golds and reds and greens. The sound design is immersive, and they sit in a denomination tier that attracts players who believe that playing a more expensive machine means getting a better deal. On that last point, you need to hear something important. While it is true that higher denomination machines generally have better RTPs than penny machines, and Dragon Link does tend to sit at a higher denomination than many machines on the main floor, the gap between what players expect from a premium machine and what Dragon Link actually delivers is significant. And the reason comes back to something we have talked about before: the progressive jackpot structure built into the core of this game. Dragon Link runs with what Aristocrat calls a hold and spin feature. When you land a certain number of scatter symbols during a spin, you enter a bonus round where those symbols hold in place while you get additional respins. Every new scatter that lands during the respins resets the counter. Fill the board, and you win a grand or major jackpot that can be genuinely substantial. It is an exciting, or compelling bonus structure, and it is also one that keeps players absolutely glued to these machines for hours at a time in pursuit of the board fill that delivers the big prize. The problem is that the hold and spin bonus, as exciting as it sounds, does not trigger with the frequency that the anticipation it generates would suggest. You can play Dragon Link for a very long time before hitting a bonus round that pays anything significant. And the in-between time is spent at a denomination that, while better than a penny machine, is still moving real money through the machine at a meaningful pace. A Dragon Link machine running at a dollar denomination with a full bet active can cost you $3 to $5 or more per spin. At a few hundred spins per hour, you are talking about real hourly exposure. There's also the social dimension of these machines that deserves an honest look. Dragon Link is almost always installed in banks of linked machines, meaning the major and grand jackpots are pooled across a group of machines sitting together. This creates a communal atmosphere. You are surrounded by other players, all chasing the same jackpot, all sharing in each other's bonus rounds and small celebrations. That social element is genuinely enjoyable for many players, but it also creates social pressure to keep playing. You do not want to leave your seat and have someone sit down and immediately hit the big bonus you were chasing. The fear of missing out is a real psychological factor that Dragon Link's linked bank design exploits very effectively. In high-limit rooms, Dragon Cash takes this concept up another level. The denominations are higher, the jackpots are larger, and the players sitting at these machines often have larger bankrolls that make it easier to sustain long losing stretches. But bigger bankroll or not, the math works the same way. Dragon Cash in a high-limit room is a machine designed to extract money efficiently from players who have more of it to spend. The gold dragons are beautiful. The jackpots are real. The practical player experience, session after session, is one of the least rewarding in the building. Number 17, Konami's China Shores, the slot. That time forgot, but casinos did not hear, is something a little different. Most of the machines we have talked about so far are relatively modern, built with the latest video technology, elaborate bonus structures, and sophisticated psychological design. China Shores by Konami is, by modern standards, a fairly old machine. It has been on casino floors for well over a decade. The graphics are dated by current standards. The sound design is simple. The bonus structure is not particularly elaborate, and yet you will still find this machine on casino floors all over Las Vegas in 2026, often positioned in high-traffic areas, often with players sitting at it who have been there for a long time. Why does an old, graphically dated machine still command floor space in major Las Vegas casinos? The answer to that question is also the answer to why you should avoid it. China Shores is what industry insiders call a player favorite, which in casino language means it is a machine that keeps players engaged long enough to generate reliable revenue for the house. The fact that the casino keeps it on the floor despite its age is not a sign that it is a good machine for players. It is a sign that it is an exceptionally good machine for casinos. China Shores features a fairly simple core mechanic. You spin the reels, you hunt for the free spin trigger, and when you get the free spins, you hope for big symbol combinations across the reels. The turtle symbols, which are the high-value icons, landing in large numbers across the reels during free spins, is the main event. And here is the thing about China Shore's free spins. They can be extraordinary when they go well. We are talking about the kind of bonus round that pays 50, 100, sometimes 200 times your bet. When it hits big, it is genuinely memorable. The problem is the variance structure of this machine. The gap between a disappointing free spin round and a genuinely big one is enormous. You can trigger free spins 30 times in a session and have 27 of them pay next to nothing, followed by 3 that pay decently. Or you can trigger them 30 times and have all 30 be modest. Or you can have one enormous payout and 29 duds. The unpredictability is extreme. And that extreme variance is a powerful psychological tool because the memory of a big China Shores hit lingers far longer than the memory of the dozens of sessions where the free spins never delivered. This is a machine built on what behavioral scientists call intermittent reinforcement at its most intense. The occasional big win creates a memory that players return to chase. The machine does not need to pay well on average. It just needs to pay spectacularly once every so often, and that one spectacular moment will bring the same player back repeatedly, a session after session, funding the casino's hold with all the losing sessions in between. The denomination on China Shores varies by casino, but penny and nickel configurations are common, meaning the actual cost per spin with all lines active is meaningfully higher than the denomination suggests. The RTP on these machines, when configured for strip casino play, tends to sit toward the lower end of the acceptable range. I think you are not getting compensated an average return for the wild variance swings this machine delivers. You are just experiencing the swings and absorbing the losses during the long stretches between memorable wins. If someone tells you they love China Shores and always seem to win on it, ask them to account for every session, not just the good ones. The brain does not record losses with the same clarity it records wins, especially on a machine like this, where the occasional win can be dramatic enough to feel like it justifies everything that came before it. It does not. Walk past China Shores. There are better ways to spend your casino afternoon. Number 16, Lightning Link, the machine that turned hold and spin into a lifestyle. If you have been inside a Las Vegas casino anytime in the last 5 or 6 years, Lightning Link has been impossible to miss. Aristocrat released this machine and it spread across casino floors like wildfire. The banks of linked machines, the gold and blue color scheme, the thunderbolt imagery, the dramatic musical sting when the hold and spin feature triggers. Lightning Link became a phenomenon. Players plan their casino visits around finding an open seat at a Lightning Link bank. Regulars have their preferred seat at their preferred machine. Some players will not leave a Lightning Link machine under any circumstances once they sit down because leaving feels like abandoning a machine that is about to pay. That last part is what I want to talk about first because it is one of the most expensive irrational beliefs in all of casino gambling. The idea that a machine is about to pay because it has not paid in a while is called the gambler's fallacy. It is the belief that past outcomes influence future ones on a device that is governed by a random number generator. Every single spin on Lightning Link is completely independent of every spin that came before it. The machine has no memory. It does not know how long you have been sitting there. It does not know how much you have lost. The random number generator produces an outcome for this spin based on nothing except statistical probability. Your loyalty to a cold machine is not rewarded, it is exploited. Lightning Link uses the same hold and spin mechanic as Dragon Link and Dragon Cash, Ice, which makes sense because it comes from the same manufacturer. You land a trigger number of scatter symbols. The reels lock and you get respins. New scatters that land extend the count, and filling the board wins the grand jackpot. The experience of being in a hold and spin bonus with scatters landing on every respin and the board slowly filling up is about as exciting as slot machine design gets. Aristocrat genuinely nailed the emotional engineering on this one. But the emotional engineering is the problem, not the solution. The grand jackpot on Lightning Link is real, and it does hit. But the vast majority of hold and spin bonuses deliver modest results at best. A few, scatters land, you collect their values, and the round ends. You get back a fraction of what you have spent triggering the bonus in the first place. The gap between what the bonus feels like it should deliver based on the anticipation it generates and what it actually delivers in most cases is one of the widest in any popular slot machine game. Lightning Link is also almost always configured with multiple jackpot tiers: mini, minor, major, and grand. The mini and minor jackpots are hit with some regularity and they feel good when they land, but they are calibrated to deliver just enough positive reinforcement to keep you at the machine, not enough to meaningfully offset your losses. They are the psychological glue that holds the session together between the big wins that almost never come. The linked machine bank structure of Lightning Link also creates something that casino designers call social proof. When someone nearby hits a good bonus on their Lightning Link machine, you hear it. The machine announces it. Other players look over. The idea that the bank is active and paying, that wins are happening right next to you, creates a sense of being in the right place at the right time. It encourages you to stay. It makes leaving feel premature. This is absolutely intentional. The linked bank is not just a jackpot pooling mechanism. It is a social engagement tool designed to keep everyone in the surrounding area playing longer. The RTP on Lightning Link varies by casino configuration and by the specific version of the game, but it follows the same general pattern as other aristocrat hold and spin machines. A meaningful portion of the theoretical return is tied up in the jackpot tiers, which inflates the stated RTP number while reducing what actually comes back to you during normal play. Aristocrat machines at strip casinos are not known for generous configurations. The machine is beautiful. The experience is engineered to be compelling. The math is working against you every single spin. Walk past Lightning Link with your bankroll intact. Number 15, Michael Jackson, king of pop slot, fame, music, and a poor deal for players. This one might surprise you because it seems different from the others we have discussed. Michael Jackson, king of pop, is a licensed music slot produced by Bally Technologies, and it has been on casino floors in various forms for years. The machine plays his music. It features his image and iconic imagery from his career. It lights up and delivers his voice and his moves during bonus rounds. For fans of one of the greatest entertainers in history, sitting at this machine has a genuine emotional pull that goes beyond the typical slot experience. And that emotional pull is exactly the mechanism the casino is counting on. Because when you factor out the nostalgia, the music, and the familiar images, what you've left is a machine with below-average player value wrapped in above-average emotional packaging. That is not a good trade. Let us start with the licensing situation. Michael Jackson's estate is one of the most actively managed and commercially aggressive celebrity estates in the world. The licensing fees for putting Michael Jackson's name, image, music, and likeness on a slot machine are not trivial. They are substantial. And as we have established in this video, those licensing costs do not evaporate. They get built into the machine's configuration in the form of a lower return to player. You are paying a Michael Jackson tax every single spin, and the tax goes to the estate and the manufacturer, not back to you. The gameplay structure itself is fairly standard for a licensed music slot of its era. You have video clips during bonus rounds. You have his music playing throughout. The wild symbols are themed around his signature imagery. The free spin bonus is the main event, and it features multipliers that can make it genuinely exciting when everything lines up. But the frequency of reaching that genuinely exciting outcome is low relative to the amount of money the machine moves through during a typical session. There is also a quality of experience issue that has become more pronounced as this machine ages on casino floors. Bally machines of this vintage were not built with the same level of visual sophistication as today's newest releases. The video clips play on a loop, and they become repetitive quickly. The sound mixing can feel tinny on older machines that have accumulated wear. The bonus structure, while thematic, is not particularly innovative by the standards of what is available on a modern casino floor. You are paying a premium in terms of reduced RTP for an experience that feels dated compared to newer machines that actually offer better player value. The placement of Michael Jackson, King of Pop, in many casinos also tells a story. These machines are often positioned in areas designed to attract foot traffic from people who are not primarily slot players, but who will stop and play for a few minutes based on the music and the imagery. The casino knows the machine has walk-by appeal. They position it accordingly. A machine designed to catch impulse players and convert them into short session spenders does not need to have great long-term player value because its audience is not the experienced slot player sitting down for a full session. It is the casual visitor who hears the music, feels the nostalgia, and slides a 20 into the bill validator. If you are a Michael Jackson fan, celebrate that fandom somewhere other than a slot machine. Buy his music, watch his videos, share his work with your grandchildren. Do not let a slot machine manufacturer and a licensing estate profit from your love of a genuine musical legend by engineering you into a poor gambling decision. The music sounds great, the machine is not great. Those are both true things. Number 14, Zeus III by WMS, the God of Thunder, with the RTP of a minor deity. WMS Industries, now part of Scientific Games, has had a long and successful run in the slot machine business, and one of their most enduring franchises is the Zeus series. Zeus slots have been a fixture on Las Vegas casino floors for many years, going through multiple iterations as the technology has advanced. Zeus III is the version you are most likely to encounter in 2026, and it deserves a careful look from anyone who considers themselves a thoughtful slot player. Zeus III is built around a feature called Colossal Reels. The game runs 2 sets of reels simultaneously, the standard 5-reel game on the left side of the screen and a larger, taller reel set on the right side. When bonus symbols align across both reel sets, the free spin feature triggers. And during free spins, symbols can expand to cover the colossal reels in dramatic fashion. When it works well, the visual impact is genuinely impressive. Giant symbols crashing across an enormous reel grid, lightning effects, thunder sounds. The production is solid. The problem with Zeus III is one that affects a lot of games that rely primarily on one spectacular feature to deliver their value. The base game, outside of the Colossal Reels bonus, is relatively thin. The regular spin experience does not pay well enough to sustain meaningful session enjoyment on its own. You are effectively playing the base game as a waiting room for the bonus, and the bonus does not arrive on any kind of schedule that you can count on. You can play Zeus III for an extended session and trigger the Colossal Reels feature just a handful of times. Each time it fails to deliver a significant win. The sense of deflation is proportional to the buildup the machine created. The variance on Zeus III sits in a range that penalizes players who cannot sustain a very long playing session. High variance machines, and Zeus III leans in this direction, need a large sample of play to smooth out toward their theoretical RTP. In practical terms, that means short to medium sessions. On Zeus III are statistically more likely to end with meaningful losses than with sessions that feel like this delivered fair value. The player who can only afford to play for an hour or 90 minutes is at a particular disadvantage on a high variance machine because they may never hit the kind of colossal reel bonus that makes the session feel worthwhile. There is also the configuration issue. Strip casino configurations of WMS games, including Zeus III, tend toward the tighter end of the available range. Casinos choose from a range of RTP settings when they purchase machines, and strip casinos consistently choose settings that favor the house more aggressively than locals casinos or off-strip properties. The same Zeus III machine that you play at a strip casino is mathematically configured differently from one you might find at a Station Casino's property or a Palms location. You are getting a worse deal at the same machine purely because of geography and casino pricing power. Zeus III also has a maximum bet structure that encourages larger wagers than casual players typically intend to make. The full Colossal Reels experience requires activating all lines and often a bonus bet, to pushing the cost per spin into a range that can deplete a session budget faster than the player realizes. The God of Thunder is a compelling figure in mythology. On a Las Vegas casino floor, his machine grinds through your bankroll with a patience and consistency that the myth never quite captures. There are better machines. There are gods worth worshiping. Zeus III in a strip casino is not one of them. Number 13, Dancing Drums by SG Gaming, the hypnotic beat that keeps you spending. Scientific Games, under their various brand names and subsidiaries, has produced some of the most successful slot machine titles in recent American casino history. Dancing Drums is one of their bigger hits. It is a machine built around a Chinese cultural aesthetic, featuring drum cymbals, gold coins, and the color red throughout its design. The drum beat that runs through the base game is rhythmic and persistent. The bonus structure features a free spin round with multiplying drums, and the machine has built a devoted following among certain segments of the casino-going population, particularly among players who enjoy a steady, rhythmic playing experience, rather than the explosive burst-style design of machines like Lightning Link. The steady rhythm is the thing I want to focus on first because it is central to understanding why Dancing Drums is on this list. Rhythm is powerful. It is not an accident that the designers gave this machine a prominent, consistent bit. Music and rhythm have well-documented effects on human behavior, including on the pace at which people make decisions and the degree to which they become absorbed in an activity. The drumbeat in Dancing Drums creates a trance-like quality to the play experience. Time passes differently when you are playing this machine than it does when you are playing a quieter or less rhythmically engaging game. And time passing differently almost always means more money spent than the player intended. This is not speculation. Researchers who study casino environments have documented the effect of music tempo and rhythm on gambling behavior for decades. Casinos know this, the slot machine designers know this. The choice to build the Dancing Drums gameplay experience around a prominent rhythmic beat is a design decision informed by behavioral science, not by concern for player enjoyment, or rather the enjoyment it creates is a means to an end, and that end is extended playtime and increased revenue per player. The actual mathematics of Dancing Drums are not dramatically different from other machines in its class. The RTP is in a similar range to other penny denomination multi-line games, which, as we have established, is generally not a great range for players. The free spin feature, which is the main payout vehicle, Knocker has a variable multiplier structure that creates the same kind of wide outcome distribution we have seen in other games. Most free spin rounds are modest. Occasional free spin rounds are substantial. The memory of the substantial rounds brings players back repeatedly. What sets Dancing Drums apart as a concern is specifically the combination of the rhythmic design, the relatively low denomination that obscures the true cost per spin, and the extended playtime that the hypnotic experience tends to generate. This is a machine where players frequently lose track of time. An hour feels like 20 minutes. The credits drain at a rate that the steady, comfortable rhythm makes it easy not to notice. And because the base game has just enough small action to keep things feeling alive, there are rarely the kind of long dead stretches that might prompt a player to look up, check the time, and decide to move on. If you find yourself drawn to Dancing Drums because you enjoy the atmosphere it creates, try setting a timer before you sit down. Decide on a hard stop before you spin for the first time. When the timer goes off, the session ends regardless of where you are in the bonus cycle or how close you feel to a good free spin round. Because the machine will always feel like it is almost about to deliver something. That feeling is the product. Do not buy it at full price. Number 12, Cleopatra II by IGT, a sequel that improved the experience and kept the problems. IGT's original Cleopatra machine is one of the most iconic slot machines in Las Vegas history. It hit casino floors in the late 1990s and became a genuine phenomenon. Players loved the ancient Egypt theme, the Cleopatra wild symbol, and the free spin bonus with multipliers that could deliver very satisfying wins. The original Cleopatra built a loyal following that persists to this day. And IGT, being a smart company, eventually followed it up with Cleopatra II, which added more features, improved the graphics somewhat, and expanded the bonus structure. Cleopatra II is the version more likely to be on current casino floors in Las Vegas in 2026, and it is the version I want to address here. And let me acknowledge up front that Cleopatra II is, by many measures, a better designed game than a lot of what we have discussed so far. The bonus structure is more varied. The free spins with multipliers can produce genuinely exciting results. The theme is executed well, and IGT machines have a reputation, in many configurations, for reasonable playability compared to some of the more aggressively player-unfriendly designs in the industry. So, why is Cleopatra II on this list? Several reasons, and they are worth understanding because they apply to a lot of beloved machines that players feel comfortable and nostalgic about. First, nostalgia is expensive in a casino. The love that many players feel for the Cleopatra brand makes them less critical of the machine's actual value proposition. They sit down feeling good about it. They have fond memories of past sessions. That positive emotional baseline makes them more likely to play longer, forgive losing stretches more readily, and attribute bad outcomes to bad luck rather than examining the machine's structural disadvantages. The casino benefits from that emotional buffer. Second, Cleopatra II on the Las Vegas Strip. In 2026 is not the same machine your memory of it suggests. Strip casino configurations of this game lean toward the tighter settings that IGT makes available. The RTP range for Cleopatra II can vary by several percentage points depending on how the casino chooses to configure it. When you sit down at a Cleopatra II on the Strip, you are almost certainly playing a tighter version of the game than you might find elsewhere, and there is no way to know how tight without access to information the casino does not share with players. Third, the free spin multiplier structure on Cleopatra II creates the same wide variance distribution we have seen elsewhere. The multipliers in the free spin round can stack to create big wins, but they require a specific combination of events to come together in the right way. Most free spin rounds land with modest multipliers and deliver underwhelming results. The memory of the sessions where everything came together and the multipliers did their work is what brings players back. The cognitive bias toward memorable wins over forgettable losses is the machine's best marketing tool. Fourth, IGTs. Cleopatra machines are penny denomination in most configurations, with the full multi-line bet structure pushing actual cost per spin well above the denomination. The math on penny multi-line slots, as we established early in this video, Ares consistently favors the casino more aggressively than any other denomination. Being an iconic game does not exempt Cleopatra II from that reality. Respect the legacy, enjoy the history. But in 2026, look for better value elsewhere on the floor. Number 11, Locket Link, the cousin you were not warned about. If you have been following this video carefully, you have already heard about Lightning Link and Dragon Link, both made by Aristocrat, both built around the hold and spin mechanic, both engineered with remarkable precision to keep players in their seats longer than they intended. Now, I want to introduce you to the third member of that family because it is everywhere on Las Vegas casino floors in 2026, and it gets far less attention than its more famous relatives. Locket Link is produced by Scientific Games, not Aristocrat, but the core mechanic is almost identical. Land enough scatter symbols, enter the hold and spin bonus. Try to fill the board, chase the grand jackpot. The execution is different. The outcome for your bankroll is largely the same. Ibars Locket Link launched in several themed versions. You will find it under names like Locket Link Nightlife, Locket Link Diamonds, and Locket Link Honu, which is the ocean and sea turtle themed version. Each version has its own visual identity and sound design, but they share the same fundamental architecture underneath. Scientific Games saw how successful Aristocrat's hold and spin formula had become and built their own version of it, and casinos embraced it enthusiastically because, from the casino's perspective, machines that keep players seated and engaged are exactly what they want on their floor. Here's what makes Locket Link worth its own entry on this list, rather than just lumping it in with the other hold and spin machines. Scientific Games configured their version with a specific jackpot tier structure that deserves scrutiny. The mini and minor jackpots on Locket Link trigger with enough regularity to be genuinely reinforcing. You hit the bonus, a couple of scatter symbols land, and you collect a mini jackpot that feels like a real win. The problem is that the mini jackpot values are calibrated to be just large enough to feel satisfying and just small enough to not meaningfully offset the cost of the spins you made to reach the bonus. You are treading water at best and losing ground at worst while the machine makes you feel like you are making progress. This is a phenomenon sometimes called slot machine accounting tricks, and it works because most players do not actually track what they spend versus what they collect with any precision during a session. They remember the mini jackpot hit. They feel the warmth of a reward, but they do not subtract from that reward the 80 or 90 spins at $1.50 per spin that it took to reach the bonus in the first place. The machine handles the math, so you do not have to, and the math it does is firmly in the casino's favor. Lock. Link also tends to be placed in high visibility locations on the casino floor. The nightlife themed version, with its club music and flashing lights, is particularly common near casino bars and in areas designed to attract players who are in a social, celebratory mindset. That context matters. Players who are out for a good time, perhaps having had a drink or two in a social environment surrounded by friends, are more susceptible to the emotional appeal of a flashy machine and less likely to be doing careful bankroll accounting. Placing Lock-It Link nightlife near casino bar areas is a deliberate positioning decision. The casino knows its audience. The denominations on Lock-It Link vary, but the cent and nickel configurations with full multi-line play put actual per-spin costs in the range of $1.50 to $3 or more. The RTP, configured at strip casinos, follows the same pattern we have seen throughout this entire video. A meaningful portion of the stated return is wrapped up in jackpot tiers that most players will never collect. The base game return, the part you actually experience during a normal session, is leaner than the headline number suggests. Look, I understand the appeal. These hold and spin games are genuinely exciting to play. The bonus structure creates real moments of suspense and real moments of joy. If you are going to play one of them, at least go in knowing what you are dealing with. Set a hard budget before you sit down. When it is gone, the session is over regardless of how close you feel to the grand jackpot. Because the truth is, you are never as close to the grand jackpot as the machine makes you feel. That feeling is the product. You are buying it with every spin. Number 10. Game of Thrones slot by Aristocrat Responsibly, the kingdom that takes your gold. Here is a machine that came along at exactly the right cultural moment and made an enormous amount of money for everyone involved, except, statistically speaking, the players sitting in front of it. Game of Thrones, both the slot machine series produced by Aristocrat and the various branded configurations you will encounter in Las Vegas casinos, arrived on casino floors riding the wave of one of the most popular television events in modern history. The show had a global audience in the hundreds of millions. The branding was among the most recognizable on the planet. An Aristocrat built a machine that captured the visual language of the series beautifully. The house sigils, the Iron Throne imagery, the musical themes. It is a well-produced piece of branded entertainment. It is also, for all the reasons we have established regarding licensed slot machines, a worse deal for you than a comparable unbranded game. The HBO licensing fees for one of their crown jewel properties do not come cheap. The cost of using Game of Thrones, imagery, music, and intellectual property is embedded in the machine's configuration in the form of reduced player return. You are literally paying royalties to HBO's parent company with every spin. They get a piece of every dollar you wager. The slot machine manufacturer gets a piece. The casino gets a piece. And what you get back, as a proportion of what you put in, is reduced by all of those upstream costs. Beyond the licensing issue, the Game of Thrones slot has a specific structural feature worth discussing. Moss Aristocrat built several versions of this machine, and the multi-denomination, multi-feature configurations that are most common on current Las Vegas casino floors include a house selection bonus where you choose a faction, and that choice affects the bonus structure you receive. This sounds like it gives the player agency and control. In reality, the outcomes across all houses are designed to produce similar overall return percentages over time. The choice is real in the sense that different houses deliver different bonus structures. It is not real in the sense that any house gives you a meaningfully better mathematical outcome than another. This kind of false choice mechanic is more common in slot design than most players realize. It makes the player feel invested in the game, as if their decisions matter. A none of house. When it pays poorly, they have house. When it pays poorly, they consider switching houses next time. The machine maintains its engagement through this illusion of strategic participation, while the math remains constant underneath. The Game of Thrones slot also tends to run at denominations and bet structures that put it in the category of machines that look approachable, but quietly run through a session budget efficiently. The bonus features are numerous and varied, which means the machine has many different ways to generate the illusion of activity without delivering the sustained return that would make a session feel genuinely profitable or even fairly entertaining from a value standpoint. But there's one more thing worth saying about this machine and others in the cultural phenomenon category. The show ended in 2019. Its final season was controversial, to put it diplomatically. The emotional connection that players felt to the series at its peak has faded somewhat, but the machine is still on the floor, still carrying the same reduced RTP that the licensing fees require, now without even the freshness of a currently beloved cultural property to justify the premium. In 2026, you are paying for branding that is years past its peak cultural relevance. The Iron Throne on that machine screen is a relic. Do not spend your casino budget sitting in front of it. Number 9. Fu Dao Le by Bally Technologies, the prosperity machine that enriches the casino. Fu Dao Le, which translates roughly to lucky and prosperous in Mandarin, is a machine by Bally Technologies that has been a consistent presence on Las Vegas casino floors for years. It is built around traditional Chinese symbols of luck and prosperity. Red and gold dominate the visual palette. Koi fish, golden ingots, lucky coins, and the Fu character appear throughout the reels. The machine plays music with traditional Chinese instrumentation. It is visually rich, culturally layered, and it has built a genuinely devoted following among players who are drawn to its aesthetic and its thematic promise of good fortune. I want to be respectful here because the cultural aesthetic of Fu Dao Le resonates genuinely with a large segment of casino players, and dismissing that connection would be both inaccurate and unfair. The machine is beautiful. The theme is executed with more care than many culturally themed slots manage. If you enjoy playing it, that enjoyment is real and it matters. But enjoyment and value are two separate things, and Fu Dao Li has a value problem that I think every player who sits down at it deserves to understand clearly. The machine is a penny denomination game in most configurations, with a multi-line bet structure that pushes the actual cost per spin considerably higher than the denomination suggests. The base game RTP, configured at strip casinos, sits in a range that is not competitive with what better machines on the same floor offer. And the bonus structure, while thematically satisfying when it delivers, follows the same wide variance pattern we have discussed repeatedly throughout this video. The free spin feature in Fu Dao Le includes a collectible symbol element where specific symbols accumulate to enhance the bonus round. This should sound familiar by now. Collectible elements in slot machine design are among the most effective tools for extending play because they create a sense of ongoing progress toward a goal. Each spin that adds to your collection feels like a productive step. Leaving the machine before the collection delivers feels like abandoning progress you have already earned. This is loss aversion working in the casino's favor. The progress you feel you have made is not real in any mechanical sense. The random number generator does not remember your collection history in any way that makes your next spin more likely to complete it. But it feels real, and that feeling is worth a great deal to the casino. Fu Dao Le also has a specific demographic appeal that is worth acknowledging directly. The machine is designed with visual and cultural elements that resonate particularly strongly with Chinese American players and with players who have a connection to Chinese cultural traditions around luck and prosperity. Marketing a gambling machine around cultural concepts of luck and fortune to a community that places cultural significance on those concepts is a targeting strategy, whether intentional or not, that deserves scrutiny. The machine promises prosperity in its very name. It delivers for the casino with reliable consistency. There are genuinely good slot machines in Las Vegas in 2026 that offer Chinese-inspired themes with better structural value for the player. Seeking those out if you enjoy the aesthetic makes more sense than defaulting to food outlay because it is familiar and because the branding feels auspicious. Fortune favors the prepared. Prepare yourself by knowing what the machine is actually offering before you sit down. Number 8, Beer House by WMS, the Oktoberfest. Party that never stops taking your money. There are slot machines on Las Vegas casino floors that are genuinely fun to be around even if you are not playing them. Beer House by WMS is one of those machines. The Oktoberfest theme is executed with real energy. The barmaid characters who appear on the reels are lively and entertaining. The animation when the free spin bonus triggers, where the barmaids raise their steins in celebration, is charming. The music is appropriately festive. Sitting at a bank of Beer House machines has the feeling of being at a party, and that social, celebratory atmosphere is something that WMS designed deliberately and executed successfully. And that party atmosphere is the single most important reason this machine is on our list. It would not make in a calmer, more reflective state of mind. Beer House is engineered to create a party feeling at the slot machine. The design pulls you in, it keeps you happy enough to stay, and while you are staying and smiling and enjoying the music and the animations, the math is doing its quiet, patient work. Beer House runs on a multi-line penny platform with a bonus bet structure that, if you activate it, adds a meaningful additional cost per spin in exchange for access to enhanced bonus features. This bonus bet mechanic is common in WMS machines, and it serves a dual purpose. First, it increases the amount wagered per spin, which directly increases the casino's theoretical revenue per hour. Second, it creates a psychological commitment. Players who activate the bonus bet feel that they should play long enough to hit the bonus that justifies the additional investment. This keeps them at the machine longer, even during losing stretches. The free spin feature in Beer House is built around the barmaids locking into place when they land on the reels. More locked barmaids mean more wild symbols during free spins, which creates the potential for dramatically enhanced payouts. When you get multiple barmaids locked in and the free spins roll, with wilds covering significant portions of the reels, the payout can be genuinely impressive. When you get one locked barmaid and a modest wild contribution, the free spins pay little more than their cost. The gap between a great Beer House bonus and a disappointing one is wide, and the disappointing outcomes are far more common. The party atmosphere also has a specific effect on loss perception. Players at Beer House tend to report enjoying their sessions even when they lose. The fun of the machine softens the blow of losing. That is not entirely a bad thing. Entertainment has value, but it also means players are less likely to evaluate their actual financial outcome honestly because the experience itself felt positive. The machine was fun, so the money spent felt worth it. This judgment might be correct for some players, but it is worth being honest with yourself about the difference between a genuinely good use of your entertainment budget and a machine that made you feel good about losing more than you intended. Beer House is particularly popular in Las Vegas during convention season and on weekends, when the casino floor is full of groups of people celebrating something. Bachelor parties, birthday weekends, retirement celebrations. The festive atmosphere of the machine fits perfectly with those contexts. The casino knows this. They position Beer House accordingly. If you find yourself at a Beer House machine as part of a group celebration, by all means have fun, but set a limit before the first spin and honor it. The party the machine is throwing is for the casino, not for you. Number 7, Double Diamond by IGT, the classic. That classic players. Overpay for Here is a machine that takes us back to basics. No elaborate bonus rounds, no hold and spin features, no collectible symbols or progressive jackpot tiers. Double Diamond by IGT is about as close to a traditional 3-reel slot machine as you will find on a modern Las Vegas casino floor. 3 reels, a handful of pay lines, the classic diamond symbols, bars, and sevens that defined slot machines for generations. If you grew up going to casinos in the 1970s, 1980s, or 1990s, the Double Diamond machine probably feels like coming home. It is familiar. It is simple. It does not overwhelm you with flashing screens and complicated bonus explanations. You put your money in, you pull the handle or press the button, and the reels spin. And that simplicity is exactly why this machine ends up on a list of slots to avoid in 2026. Because what looks like simplicity is actually a lack of value dressed up in nostalgia. Let me explain what I mean by walking through what you are actually getting when you sit down at a double diamond machine on a Las Vegas Strip casino floor today. 3 reel machines with a limited number of pay lines have a specific mathematical characteristic that distinguishes them from video slots. Because there are fewer ways to win on any given spin, the wins that do occur need to be more significant to maintain the machine's overall RTP. The flip side of this is that dry spells between wins can be very long. You can sit at a double diamond machine and spin for a considerable amount of time without hitting anything meaningful. The lack of bonus features means there is no secondary entertainment to fill those dry stretches. You are just spinning and losing spin after spin with none of the visual activity that at least gives video slot players something to look at between wins. Now, here's the part that surprises most players who gravitate to double diamond out of nostalgia or a preference for simplicity. The denomination on these machines at strip casinos is often set at $1 or higher. On the surface, that sounds like it should mean a better RTP because, as we established earlier, higher denomination machines generally return a higher percentage. And in theory, that is true, but the strip casino effect overrides some of that advantage. Are playing a dollar machine on the strip, you're 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 playing a dollar machine on the strip, you are playing a dollar machine on the strip, which is better than a penny machine, but you are not getting the full benefit of the dollar denomination that you might get at a locals casino or an off-strip property. There is also a speed issue with double diamond that works against players more than it might seem. Because the machine is simple and the spins resolve quickly, experienced players tend to spin it fast. There is no bonus round to watch, no animation to engage with, nothing to slow the pace down. The result is a high number of spins per hour at $1 or more per spin. Even with a relatively competitive RTP, as the combination of per spin cost and spin frequency can produce meaningful hourly losses that a more entertaining machine with a lower denomination might not match. The handle, if the machine still has one, is another psychological element worth discussing. The physical act of pulling a handle, which some versions of double diamond still feature or simulate, creates a more physically engaged gambling experience. Research on slot machine design has found that the physical pull of a handle creates a stronger sense of personal involvement in the outcome than pressing a button does. You feel like you are doing something, you feel like the handle is yours to control. This is an illusion, of course, because the random number generator has already determined the outcome before the handle completes its arc. But the illusion of physical control is a meaningful, psychological experience that keeps players engaged and encourages longer sessions. The honest assessment of Double Diamond for a player in their 50s, 60s, or 70s who gravitates toward it because of familiarity is this. The machine you remember from 20 or 30 years ago was a different machine in a different era of casino gambling. The machines on today's strip floors with that familiar name and those familiar symbols are not the same deal they once were. The casino industry has learned a great deal about extracting maximum revenue from every square foot of floor space in the decades since those memories were formed. Nostalgia is a beautiful thing. Just do not let it cost you more than a reasonable entertainment budget. And on a strip casino floor in 2026, Double Diamond is very likely to do exactly that. Number 6. The Walking Dead slot by Aristocrat, the zombie that feeds on your bankroll. There was something almost poetically appropriate about a slot machine based on a television show about the undead being on a list of machines you should avoid. The Walking Dead slot by Aristocrat has been a fixture on casino floors for years, riding the enormous popularity of the AMC series through its peak years, and continuing to command floor space even as the show's cultural moment has largely passed. Much like the zombies at the center of its source material, this machine just keeps going. And much like those zombies, every encounter with it tends to leave you a little worse off than before. Let us start with the licensing issue, because by now you should be anticipating it whenever you see a branded machine. The Walking Dead is an AMC property with a devoted fan base. Aristocrat paid to license that property. Those costs are embedded in the machine's configuration in the form of player return that is lower than an equivalent unbranded machine would offer. You are paying an AMC tax with every spin. The walkers on the reels have a price tag attached to them that you never agreed to and probably never knew about. The Walking Dead slot features a multi-phase bonus structure that Aristocrat designed to maximize thematic immersion. There are several different bonus modes tied to different characters and story elements from the show. Depending on which bonus you trigger, you enter a different gameplay environment with different mechanics and different potential payouts. This variety sounds appealing, and in terms of sheer entertainment design, it is reasonably well executed. The different bonus environments keep the machine feeling fresh over multiple sessions in a way that a single bonus structure would not. But here's what that variety costs you. Each of the different bonus modes has its own payout profile, and the overall return across all the modes averages out to whatever the casino has configured the machine to hold. The variety is genuine in terms of experience. It is not genuine in terms of giving you a better mathematical outcome. The bonus you might prefer thematically, the one with your favorite character from the show, does not pay better than the others in any consistent way. You are choosing your entertainment experience, not your odds. And the entertainment experience, compelling as it is, comes at the standard licensed slot machine premium. Now, Aristocrat also built The Walking Dead with a community bonus feature where players at linked machines can participate in a shared bonus event. We have talked about linked machine social dynamics elsewhere in this video. The same principles apply here. The shared experience creates camaraderie and social engagement. It also creates the kind of communal pressure to stay, to see how the community event resolves, to not be the person who walks away right before the big shared bonus hits. This pressure is entirely manufactured by the machine's design. There is no reason you need to be present for the community bonus. But the design makes it feel like there is, and that feeling keeps people in their seats. The Walking Dead slot also tends to be placed in areas of the casino floor that attract younger, more entertainment-oriented visitors. The dark graphic novel aesthetic and the horror-adjacent theme skew the machine's appeal toward a demographic that may be less experienced with slot machine mechanics and less likely to be tracking their spending carefully. The machine's design speaks to an audience, and that audience tends to be more susceptible to the emotional engagement it creates precisely because they are not veteran slot players who have learned, through sometimes painful experience, to be skeptical of what a machine is actually delivering. If you watched The Walking Dead and loved it, that is a completely reasonable thing. Hundreds of millions of people around the world did. But separating your appreciation for the show from your evaluation of the slot machine that bears its name is an important act of financial self-protection. The show is great television, The slot is a machine configured to make money for the casino. Those two facts can coexist. Let the show stay in your memory and your streaming queue. Keep it off your casino budget. Number 5, 88 Fortunes by Bally Technologies. 8 times the promises, half the delivery. The number 8 holds special significance in Chinese culture. It sounds like the word for prosperity and good fortune. 8 is lucky. And Bally Technologies, now Scientific Games, built an entire slot machine identity around this cultural connection when they created 88 Fortunes. The name itself is a promise. 88 units of good fortune. The machine backs this up visually with golden gongs, lucky red envelopes, jade symbols, and the sound of a gong strike that has become one of the most recognizable sounds on any casino floor in America. When 88 Fortunes triggers a bonus, that gong hits and every player within 50 feet knows something happened at that machine. That gong is one of the most effective pieces of audio design in the history of American slot machine manufacturing. And that sentence should tell you everything you need to know about how much thought and craft went into engineering this machine's appeal. The sound was not chosen because it sounds nice. It was chosen because it travels. It is distinctive. It creates attention. Every time someone near you hits a bonus on an 88 Fortunes machine, the gong sound reaches you and registers in your brain as activity, as winning, as excitement happening nearby. It draws you toward the machine even if you are not thinking about playing it. It keeps you at the machine because the gong sounds like confirmation that good things are happening in this area of the floor. The bonus structure on 88 Fortunes is the golden wheel feature, where landing the gong scatter symbols triggers a spinning wheel that awards a prize from one of several tiers. The top tier is the grand jackpot, which can be a meaningful amount depending on the specific configuration. The other tiers are progressively smaller, with the most common outcomes being the lower prize tiers that are satisfying in the moment but rarely offset the investment that went into reaching the bonus. The wheel itself is a beautiful piece of design. Watching it spin with the gong sound playing and the anticipation building is a genuine rush. And then it stops on the mini jackpot and pays you $12, and you remember that you have been sitting at this machine for 45 minutes. 88 Fortunes is a penny denomination machine in virtually all configurations you will encounter on a strip casino floor. The full multi-line bet with all features activated puts your actual per spin cost at $1, $1.50 or more. We have been through this math enough times by now that you know where it goes. Penny denomination, high line count, full feature activation equals real money moving through the machine at a rate that denomination does not suggest. The 88 in the name is a marketing number. Your per spin cost is a real number. Make sure you know which one is which before your first spin. The cultural theming of 88 Fortunes deserves the same honest look we gave Food-Outlet, marketing a gambling machine using cultural symbols of luck and prosperity to a community for whom those symbols carry genuine meaning is a targeting strategy. The machine's name literally promises good fortune. The imagery promises prosperity. The gong sound promises something is happening. None of these promises are backed by a mathematical structure that delivers on them with any regularity. The good fortune that 88 Fortunes reliably delivers belongs to the casino. And in 2026, with this machine having been on casino floors for years, and its design having been analyzed by behavioral researchers and player advocates in considerable detail, there is simply no excuse for not knowing what you are sitting down in front of. The gong will sound for someone today. It might even sound for you. But the question is not whether the gong ever sounds. The question is how much it costs to hear it. On 88 Fortunes at a Las Vegas strip casino in 2026, the answer to that question is more than you should be comfortable paying. Number 4, Planet Moolah by WMS. Cute on the outside, costly on the inside. Sometimes the most disarming thing a slot machine can do is not try to intimidate you or impress you with size and spectacle. Sometimes the most effective design choice is to be genuinely, unthreateningly cute. Planet Moolah by WMS is a sheep-themed slot machine. And yes, you read that correctly. The symbols are woolly sheep in various expressions and configurations. The color palette is soft and friendly. The animations are charming rather than flashy. The sheep bleat and bounce and express little emotional reactions to the spin outcomes. If you walked up to a Planet Moolah machine without knowing anything about slot machines, your first instinct would be that this is a casual, low-stakes, friendly little game. Something you might play for a few minutes just for the fun of it. That instinct is entirely manufactured. The cute exterior of Planet Moolah houses the same fundamental mathematical structure as every other machine on this list. Penny denomination, multi-line betting, actual per-spin cost considerably higher than the posted denomination. RTP, configured toward the casino favorable end of the available range. The sheep are not your friends. They are very effective camouflage for a machine that is doing exactly what every other machine on this floor is doing, which is moving money from your pocket to the casino's revenue line. WMS designed Planet Moolah with a specific target in mind. The friendly, non-threatening aesthetic appeals to players who are intimidated by more aggressive, flashy machines. If you are someone who finds the loud lights and dramatic sounds of Lightning Link or Dragon Link overwhelming, if you prefer a calmer, gentler playing environment, Planet Moolah presents itself as the solution. It says, come sit down, relax. This is going to be comfortable and easy. And it is comfortable, that is the problem. Comfortable is another word for unguarded. Players who are relaxed and comfortable are less likely to be tracking their spending carefully. They are less likely to be watching the clock. They are less likely to respond to the mild, friendly losing feedback the machine provides with the same urgency they would feel if a more aggressive machine were delivering the same losses. A loud, intense machine that eats through $50 feels like a $50 loss. A quiet, comfortable machine that eats through $50 with bouncing cartoon sheep feels like an hour of pleasant entertainment. The money is the same. The psychological framing is completely different. The free spin bonus on Planet Moolah is triggered by the sheep scatter symbols and delivers a round of free spins with the potential for multiplied wins. The structure is not unusual in the context of video slots, and the maximum potential from a good free spin round is not dramatically different from comparable games in the same category. But the baseline RTP and the per spin cost structure sit in the same unfavorable range we have seen throughout this video. The friendly face of the machine is not an indication of a friendly mathematical arrangement underneath. And Planet Moolah is also commonly placed in areas of the casino that attract what marketers call light or casual players. Near hotel lobby entrances, near coffee shops and food court areas, in spots where people walk by who might duck in for 30 minutes before a show or after dinner. These casual visitors are exactly the audience the machine is designed for. They are not going to sit down and run thousands of spins over a 5-hour session. They are going to put in $40 or $60, spin for half an hour, enjoy the charming sheep, and move on. In that brief window, the casino needs a machine that extracts a reasonable percentage without the player feeling the loss too acutely. Planet Moolah does this extraordinarily well. It is, in a sense, the perfect casual player machine. Just not in any sense that benefits the casual player. Yeah, if you want a friendly, approachable slot machine experience that does not require reading an instruction manual or understanding a complex bonus structure, there are better options. Look for simpler video slots from established manufacturers with transparent RTP information and denomination structures that do not hide the true cost per spin. The sheep are adorable. The machine is not your friend. And in the nicest possible way, I am asking you to keep walking. Number 3, Buffalo Stampede by Aristocrat, the herd that runs right over your wallet. We talked about Buffalo Gold earlier in this video and established that Aristocrat's Buffalo franchise is one of the most psychologically sophisticated slot machine series ever built. Now I want to introduce you to a cousin in that family that deserves its own conversation. Buffalo Stampede takes the Buffalo formula and expands it into a broader, more feature-heavy package that has found its way onto casino floors across Las Vegas and proved to be every bit as effective at keeping players seated and spending as its more famous relative. Buffalo Stampede runs on a larger reel grid than the standard Buffalo games. You have more reels, more ways to win, and a more elaborate bonus structure that includes multiple free spin modes with different enhancements depending on how you trigger them. On paper, this sounds like more value. More ways to win, more bonus options, a richer playing experience. And Aristocrat's marketing around the Buffalo Stampede certainly leans into that framing. What it does not lead with is the cost structure that sits underneath all of that additional complexity. More reels and more ways to win does not automatically mean more value returned to the player. It means more mathematical surface area for the casino's hold percentage to operate across. Every additional pay line, every additional reel position, every additional bonus mode adds complexity that makes it harder for a player to intuitively understand what they are actually getting back per dollar wagered. And this complexity is not an accident. Complexity in slot machine design almost always serves the casino rather than the player, because complexity obscures the fundamental math that determines who wins and who loses over time. The multi-mode free spin structure of Buffalo Stampede is a good example of this dynamic in action. You can enter different free spin environments with different enhancement levels depending on how many bonus symbols trigger the round. Higher trigger counts give you access to better enhanced modes with more potential upside. This creates a hierarchy of outcomes where the best bonuses feel like achievements you earned by getting lucky enough to hit the higher trigger count. But the frequency of hitting those higher trigger counts is calibrated by the machine to produce an overall return that fits within the casino's configured hold percentage, regardless of which bonus mode you enter most often. The hierarchy of bonuses creates the feeling of earned achievement. The math treats them all as components of a single designed return rate. Buffalo Stampede also runs the same gold coin accumulation mechanic as Buffalo Gold, which means it carries the same psychological reset loop we discussed at length. Earlier in this video, you are collecting coins across spins. You are watching the counter. You are feeling the pull of proximity to a completion that then resets and starts the whole cycle over again. Aristocrat knows exactly what this mechanic does to players. They built Buffalo Gold around it. I watched it become one of the most successful slot machines in American casino history, and then applied the same engine to Buffalo Stampede and several other machines in the expanded Buffalo lineup. The denomination and per spin cost on Buffalo Stampede follows the pattern of the rest of the Buffalo family. You are playing what is nominally a penny machine and actually a multi-dollar per spin machine once all the lines and the bonus features are activated. Strip casino configurations sit toward the tighter end of the available range. The Buffalo imagery and sounds are evocative and effective. The stampede of wins you are hoping to be caught up in is, for the overwhelming majority of sessions, a stampede that runs past you and leaves you watching from the side of the road with a lighter wallet. The Buffalo brand is one of the most powerful in American slot machine history. Aristocrat built it carefully and maintains it skillfully. They will continue releasing new Buffalo variants, and players will continue sitting down at them with the same mix of hope and habit that has always defined the franchise's appeal. I am not asking you to be immune to that appeal. I am asking you to be honest with yourself about what you are experiencing when you sit at one of these machines. The Buffalo are not running towards you, they are running away, and your money is going with them. Number 2, Quick Hit Super Wheel Wild Red by Bally, when 3 gimmicks become one bad deal. We talked about Quick Hit Platinum earlier in this countdown and established that the Quick Hit family from Bally Technologies is built around speed, multi-line complexity, and a per-spin cost structure that moves money through this machine faster than most players realize. Now, I want to talk about a specific variant in the Quick Hit lineup that takes everything that is problematic about the base Quick Hit experience and layers on additional features that make the whole situation more complicated, more expensive, and no more rewarding for the player. Quick Hit Super Wheel Wild Red combines 3 distinct elements into one machine. You have the standard Quick Hit base game with its rapid spinning and multi-line structure. You have a wheel bonus element, similar in concept to the Wheel of Fortune bonus, where a physical or virtual wheel spin determines a prize amount. And you have an expanded wild symbol system that the machine markets as giving players more ways to win. 3 features, 3 promises, 1 underlying mathematical structure that has to support all of them while still delivering the casino's configured hold percentage. This is a fundamental truth about slot machine design that applies to every multi-feature game you will encounter on a casino floor. Adding features does not add value. Adding features redistributes the existing value across a more complex delivery system. When a machine promises you 3 ways to win instead of 1, it is not giving you 3 times as many opportunities to be ahead at the end of a session. It is giving you three different emotional experiences through which the same basic mathematical outcome, the casino holds its configured percentage, gets delivered. The complexity of the delivery system makes the mathematical reality harder to see clearly. That is the entire point. The wheel bonus in Super Wheel Wild Red is particularly worth examining. Wheel bonuses in slot machines have an interesting psychological property. When you spin a physical or virtual wheel, the outcome feels more random and more fair than a standard real combination. You can see the wheel, you can see where each prize segment is. The spin appears to be a genuinely random physical event. But the outcomes of slot machine wheel bonuses are determined by the same random number generator that determines every other outcome on the machine. The wheel is a theatrical presentation of a number that was already chosen before the wheel started spinning. The landing spot is predetermined. The wheel's spin is animation, not randomness. And yet, the physical sensation of watching a wheel spin makes the outcome feel more legitimate and more exciting than a standard real combination would. This is sophisticated stuff. The people who designed Quick Hit Super Wheel Wild Red understand human psychology in ways that most people who sit down at the machine do not. They know that adding a wheel makes players trust the bonus more, enjoy it more, and remember it more positively when it pays. They know that the rapid base game spin rate creates a sense of momentum and action that is hard to step away from. Should they know that the expanded wild system gives players something to explain to each other when they describe a win, a social narrative that makes the machine feel more interesting and more worth returning to. All of that knowledge is deployed in service of a machine that, at a strip casino in 2026, is configured to hold a meaningful percentage of everything you wager. The three-feature structure does not change that. The wheel does not change that. The wilds do not change that. What changes is how the inevitable mathematical outcome feels while it is happening to you. It feels more entertaining, more varied, more fair. And those feelings, as real as they are in the moment, are the mechanism through which the machine does its work. And budget for Quick Hit Super Wheel. Wild Red, the way you would budget for any entertainment expense where you expect to spend money and get an experience in return. Decide what the experience is worth to you before you sit down. When you have spent that amount, the session is over. Do not let the wheel spin you into spending more than you intended. It is very good at doing exactly that. Number 1, any slot machine. You do not understand the most dangerous game on the floor. We have been through 25 specific machines and machine categories in this video. We have talked about licensing fees and RTP configurations. We have talked about psychological design elements and behavioral reinforcement. We have talked about spin rates and denomination deceptions, and the gap between how a machine makes you feel and what it is actually delivering mathematically. And all of that information is genuinely useful. I hope it changes the way you walk through a casino floor and the choices you make when you sit down. But the single most important thing I can tell you, the number one machine to avoid in Las Vegas or anywhere else in America in 2026, is any machine you sit down at without understanding what you are actually doing. That is it. That is the answer. Because everything we have discussed in this video, every specific problem with every specific machine comes back to one root cause. Players sitting down without knowledge, spinning without understanding, and losing more than they intended because the casino and the machine manufacturer understood the situation better than they did. Let me break down what understanding a machine actually means because it is more specific than just knowing the name or recognizing the theme. Understanding a machine means knowing the approximate cost per spin before you start, not the denomination. The actual total bet per spin with all lines and features activated. It means having a session budget in your head or in your hand before you insert the first dollar, and having a genuine commitment to stopping when that budget is spent, regardless of how the session is going. It means knowing whether the machine is a progressive, which affects how much of the stated RTP is actually available to you during normal play. It means recognizing when a win is actually a net loss, when the machine is celebrating and playing music and showing you animations for an outcome that paid you less than the spin cost. Understanding also means knowing yourself. It means being honest about whether you tend to spend more than you planned in casino environments. It means recognizing the specific machines or features that you find it particularly hard to walk away from and treating that as information about your own psychology rather than as evidence that those machines are about to pay. The gambler's fallacy. The near miss effect, the sunk cost feeling, the social pressure of linked machine banks, all of the psychological mechanisms we have discussed throughout this video are most powerful when you are unaware of them. Awareness is not a complete defense, but it is a real one. The Las Vegas casino industry in 2026 is extraordinarily sophisticated. The machines on those floors are the product of decades of research, billions of dollars of development investment, and a continuous process of testing and refinement aimed at maximizing the casino's revenue per player per hour. The people who built those machines are very good at their jobs. Acknowledging that is not pessimistic. It is accurate. And accuracy is the foundation of every good decision you will make on a casino floor. You can enjoy slot machines. You can have genuinely genuinely entertaining sessions at Las Vegas casinos without suffering financial harm that affects your quality of life. Millions of people do exactly that every year. The difference between the people who have good experiences and the people who do not is almost never luck. It is almost always preparation. It is going in knowing what the machines are designed to do. It is setting boundaries before you sit down. It is treating the money you are willing to spend as the price of admission to an entertainment experience, rather than as an investment in an outcome you can influence. Every machine we covered in this video is designed in some specific way to make it harder for you to hold on to those principles. The nostalgia of Double Diamond, the rhythm of dancing drums, the gong of 88 fortunes, the stampede sounds of Buffalo, the dream of the Megabucks jackpot. Each of these is an engineering choice aimed at a specific vulnerability in human psychology. And how you know what those choices are and why they were made. That knowledge belongs to you. Take it onto the casino floor. Use it. And whatever machine you end up sitting in front of, make sure you understand it before you spin. That is the list. Stay sharp out there.